Today's presentation is going to review employer branding with social media. With the war for top talent heating up this year, employers are finding that a focus on their employer brand is helping them both attract and retain talent. More importantly, employers are realizing that money isn't all that they need to offer. So today we have Veronica Segovia from Vocus to share her top tips. Veronica Segovia is the employee brand marketer at Vocus, and she works closely with talent acquisition, marketing, and human resources teams to improve communication and create positive experience for Vocus candidates on a global scale through social media. She markets at employer events at headquarters and international locations, as well as online recruiting events and key outreach programs. Veronica develops and strengthens Vocus employer brands through organizational brand research, social media marketing, and other emerging media, including mobile and geosocial technologies. She recently received great local and national media recognition for Vocus by leading and organizing the latest Vocus Career Open House. For those of you not familiar, Vocus offers some PR and marketing software, which I'm sure Veronica will touch on a little bit later. I'm Jen Picard. I'll be moderating today, and I'm in charge of marketing for Bright Recruiter. So here at Bright, we aim to make the hiring process more efficient by connecting job seekers to their best opportunities and employers to their top candidates. Our machine learning algorithm is called the Bright Score. It examines thousands of data points to find the best fit between job seekers and job openings. And we host these webinars on a weekly basis just to kind of help recruiters do their job better, make their hiring process a lot more efficient, and help everybody save time and money in their recruitment recruitment processes. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the presentation over to Veronica. I'm sure you're all as excited as I am to hear what she has to say about employer branding.
Great. Thank you so much, Jen, for that introduction. I'm going to get started since we have a lot to cover, and I just want to let everyone know that in addition to the recording that Jen will be sending out, I will put these slides up on my LinkedIn profile later this afternoon. And I appreciate, Jen, you're taking questions during the webinar, and I will gladly answer questions at the end. So one of the best ways to promote your employer brand is through social media. And the reason that is because social media is a conversation with your audience. So if this conversation is engaging and effective, according to surveys done by LinkedIn and JobBite, you will save up to 50% in costs per hire, as long as it's associated with your strong employer brand. And what we're seeing is that employer brand is at the top of mind for recruiting professionals, recruiting teams, and HR departments. 93% of employers plan to maintain or grow their investment in their employer brand this year. That being said, recruiting teams are also using social media to recruit. Based on the 2012 JobBite survey of JobBite users last year, JobBite is the applicant tracking system that we use here at Vocus with our recruiting team. And they surveyed their users and found that 92% of employers who use JobBite also use or plan to use social media to recruit. Out of those, 73% successfully hired a candidate that was introduced to them through social media. And right now, LinkedIn is still dominating that platform use. So out of the popular social media platforms, LinkedIn is the most popular with recruiters, followed by Facebook and then Twitter. And I really think that we're going to see an increase in Twitter. It's a great place to have a constant flow of information, and I really think that the way that you can interact almost immediately with candidates or prospective employees is really beneficial for building the employer brand. Vocus actually uses all three, so our recruiters all use Facebook, they use Twitter, and they use LinkedIn. And our recruiters are also given training on how to establish presence, grow a presence, and source in all of these platforms. For the majority, our recruiters before coming to work here didn't use Twitter, and now are finding that they're getting great candidates by using Twitter and being active in that space. Really quick, I just want to talk about the idea of reach versus engagement when it comes to your employer brand. You are reaching those candidates or those prospective employees who know who you are. That's what we mean by reach. Those are the people who are familiar with you as an employer. So those people are viewing your employee profiles. They might be connecting with your employees, or they might be people that your employees know already and who happen to see posts or shared photos at employee activities from your current employees. And then the next step up from reach is your engagement. So engagement comes from those who are interested in a position with your company. You are engaging with people who are researching your company. They follow your company on LinkedIn or other social platforms if you're there. They reach out to you. They share your posts or news, and they're applying for positions. They're viewing your jobs and applying for those positions. And success in social media for your employer brand results from engaging with this audience, and this comes from interacting with those people. So next, I'm just going to go over some tips for building that employer brand. For the most part, you have an employer brand. It's what people know about you so far. But if what you want to do is build a stronger employer brand, I would say that you start out with these 4 steps. I think you want to establish clear employer values. And what that means is think about the core values, what you want people to know about your company as an employer. Why would somebody want to come work for you as opposed to a competitor or someone else? And convey these values. Come up with what these values are and figure out a creative way to express and proactively communicate this to drive engagement with this potential talent. Also, build a strong talent community. Build strong ongoing relationships with interested talent. If people are applying to positions, respond to them even if it is just a thank you and letting them know that you'll get back to them if they're a fit for a position. You don't want to leave it just on one end. You don't want to leave all the communication coming from a candidate. You want to make sure that you build strong ongoing relationships with people so that they get the best candidate experience. Whether or not they get hired or whether or not they come and accept an offer with your company, you want them leaving with an impression, a positive experience that's related to your recruitment process. And then also to remember that your employees are the best advocates for your brand. Your people, your employees are networking with like-minded people, so chances are the people they're networking with are in that demographic of people who you would like to recruit or people you would like to target. So engage them, engage your employees, give them content, to share with their networks, and also highlight them, celebrate them, show them appreciation. 70% of people who are looking for a new job this year, it's stemming from them feeling like they aren't appreciated where they are, like they aren't recognized. So remember that your employees are the best advocates for your brand, and take advantage of that. And then finally, create a careers presence in social media. So highlight your career opportunities and socialize with your followers. So within Facebook or Twitter, find a way to post jobs, find a way to share something fun that your employees are doing creatively so that you are creating a strong careers presence in social media. So in order to choose your networks, what you'd want to do first is to audit. Perform an audit. When I worked for a social media agency and worked on several clients, not just employers, but corporate packaged goods or entertainment clients, we always started off by doing an audit. And what that means is using Google and searching through keywords like your company name and words like hiring, careers, jobs, work. Look at that online conversation about your company. Search on sites like Glassdoor where employees might be posting anonymous reviews. Take a look at what the discussion looks like. You might find that there's some negative information out there. You might find that there isn't any information out there. Or you might find that there is some positive information about your company as an employer, and you can build on that. Build a presence on the platforms that make the most sense for you as an employer. And what I mean by that is take a look at your target audience. Who is it that you want to hire? How old are they? What education level do you require for your positions? Where are your competitors present? And what I mean by competitors aren't necessarily somebody that you compete with in the product space, but someone that you compete with for talent. So if you're looking to hire a lot of salespeople this year, are there other companies near you or within your region that are hiring out of the same pool? You want to take a look at what they're doing, where they are in social media, if they are at all. See where you can get ahead of them or catch up to them. And then make sure that what you're posting is relevant for the specific network. So research the networks before you decide to add a presence there. Take a look at Pinterest. Take a look at Instagram if you want to be there. Take a look at Twitter and Facebook. And make sure that what you're posting there makes sense for the platform. And the questions to ask before you begin would be, what do you want to accomplish through social media? Why are you there? Social media is something that you need to, once you set up a page or set up a handle or a presence, you're going to want to nurture that presence. You're going to want to build that community and maintain it. So you're going to want to think to yourself, what do I want to accomplish? Do I want to have conversations with my talent? Do I want to have conversations with the potential employees before deciding to put up a Facebook page or a Twitter? And then you also want to consider how much you're able to spend. Social media is great because a lot of it is free. However, you have to think about how creative you want to be with the assets that you use in platforms. So are you going to need to hire a graphic designer? Do you have the support of an internal marketing team that can kind of give you assets to use for your profile picture, your background on your Twitter skin, that sort of thing? Who will execute some social media strategy is a big question as well. Do you have the full-time staff? Vocus created a unique position and hired me to come in and be completely dedicated to the social media strategy for the recruiting team, but not every HR department has the budget or the plan to do that. So you're going to want to decide, is it going to be a recruiter? Will it be an intern? Do you have the support of an internal marketing department? Do you have the budget to hire an agency to manage your social media strategy? You want to make sure that you figure out who's going to own your presence in that space, because that's who's going to come up with your content and who's going to be responsible for sharing and growing those platforms. You're also going to want to ask yourself which platforms are best for your business. For example, there's Facebook, Twitter, there is Pinterest, there's also Instagram. You don't want to set up an Instagram, which is a photo sharing platform, if you don't have anything visually compelling to share. Because you're going to run out of content. So just make sure that you look at all of the platforms, look and see what other people are doing in those platforms, and decide what makes the most sense for your business. And then finally, you're going to want to know or come up with an idea of how to know if your efforts are working in these platforms. And the way that I recommend that you do that is to measure results by monitoring your interaction with people who are following you in those platforms, and take a look at the responses that you're getting. Pay attention to which posts are garnering the most likes, shares, and interaction or comments from people. And that information is there in the platform for you. It takes a little digging and a little familiarizing yourself with each platform, but you can take a look as long as you're monitoring the activity and the posts that you're putting up, paying attention. Don't just put up a post, leave it up, and not look at it for a week. You're going to want to take a look and see who's liking this, who's commenting, what is the response from my audience. And that's how you're going to know if your efforts are working. Are you getting a lot of responses, or is nothing happening? What do you need to change up? Definitely monitor and measure the results of what you're doing in order to know if your efforts are working. I also recommend that you organize your content through the use of content calendars, scheduling posts. There are tools like TweetDeck or Buffer that allow you to schedule posts. Facebook itself also allows you to schedule your posts now. So if you were to go and write a status or ask to share a photo or a video or create an event, you can actually schedule when you would like this post to appear on your timeline before posting it. And remember that when you're organizing your content, you want to drive traffic to and from each platform to grow your engagement. So maybe you have a little bit to say. That's when I would recommend using Twitter. You can go ahead and have a tweet update as long as it fits within 140 characters. If you have a little bit more to say, maybe you share a status update on Facebook and then link to that Facebook status update through Twitter so that you can also get your Twitter followers looking at your Facebook page. If you have more than what you could fit into a Facebook status, most people think that a Facebook status is unlimited in characters, but it actually is not. It does tap out at 420. So if you have something like a great story about a employee appreciation activity that you did or a company-wide picnic that you all had, maybe it would be a good idea to blog about that event and then share that link to that blog post on Facebook, on Twitter. on Pinterest, linking back and driving traffic across platforms. That's how you're able to grow each platform and also to grow your engagement in that platform. And whatever you share, just make sure that you post and cross-promote. So I mentioned using tools to manage your social media and to take a look at what kind of an impact you're having in social media and how to measure your results. Vocus does provide a new tool. It's called the Vocus Marketing Suite, and it does have an integrated, it's a dashboard which allows you to have an integrated approach to your marketing. So it includes social media, it includes publicity, it also includes email marketing, and it also shows you the results. It's actually pulling these results from Twitter and from Facebook. So you can actually monitor all of your impact within the Vocus Marketing Suite. So this is helpful to someone or to a department that may not have a person actually dedicated to managing the employer brand. This is a really helpful tool if you have to share that responsibility, or if maybe it's a recruiter who also is responsible for doing all of the recruitment and managing the employer brand. A tool such as this one would help them do that in less time. And it also consolidates everything for them so that the reporting is there and they don't have to go in and manually collect that from each platform. Okay, so I'm going to talk about blogs for just a second. The Vocus Careers blog is something that we added in February of this year to the Careers website. And the reason that we did that is because we wanted a place to highlight what it really is like to work at Vocus. We have an amazing facility. It's 93,000 square feet, our headquarters. And there are lots of different activities that go on. There are events that are hosted here. People can host seminars that have to do with technology or social media in our space. And so this blog allows us to highlight the current employee experience. It gives our current employees a great way to celebrate working here, and then also kind of opens it up to prospective employees, lets them have an inside look at more than just what our product is like and what we sell, but what it's like to come in and work here every day. And then the other side of that is that we wanted to build the Vocus recruiting team as a credible resource for people who are job hunting. So even if someone were to go through our process and not get hired, or if someone were to decide to not accept an offer, maybe they got an offer somewhere else closer to home or something like that, they would still leave with a positive experience and would still continue to visit the Vocus Careers blog just to learn more information about job hunting, about career development, about recruiting. So our blog reinforces our brand. It reinforces Vocus as a unique, accessible, and credible recruiting team. It also establishes our recruiting team's expertise in areas of corporate recruitment. So we try to post at least twice a week. And in an effort to grow this blog, in addition to posting just within this blog, we share on Twitter, we share on Facebook, we link our blog posts to Pinterest so that people in Pinterest can also see them. And that way we're driving traffic to and from, like I said, we're cross-promoting. And the other way to grow a blog, even if you only post once a week on your blog, the other way to grow that is to visit other blogs that are relevant to what you're writing about. So anytime that I'm looking at blogs that have to do with job searches or career development or job hunting in general, working out at work, maintaining work-life balance, anything like that, I find a way to comment relevantly to the post that is there, and then also drawing it back to what we do at Vocus and the employee experience at Vocus. So I recommend to our recruiters that they do this at least once a week, that they also promote the blog in their email signature, their Facebook posts, that they tweet, or that they add a link to the blog to their LinkedIn profiles as well. And I recommend that each of them, if they are surfing the internet and run across an article about working out at work or an article about job hunting, that they give their 2 cents as a recruiter, and that they also mention that they work for a company in the DC area that's hiring, and that if people are interested, that they can take a look or learn more about our employee experience on our Facebook page, on our blog, on our careers website, on Twitter. And that way we grow each one of those platforms as well. Blogging gives you the ability to say more than you could in a status update. So I definitely recommend opening it up to your employees as well to write guest posts so that people see or get a firsthand look from your employees what it's like to work there, and then you're also getting content that way. It doesn't have to be left up to just the recruiting team to come up with content. I definitely think that inviting employees to write guest posts is a great way of promoting your blog. I have monthly brainstorm sessions with our recruiting team just to talk about recruiting trends, relevant ideas, who we'd like to write these guest posts that I was just talking about, and then I also ask them for referrals on featured employees. Also, socializing your career website, especially the blog, will help you to drive traffic as well. Just have other people, readers, your audience, driving traffic to your blog for you. So making sure that if you do add a blog to your careers website, or if you haven't yet added these social plugins to your careers website, to do so. This is a great way to get people to share what you're already posting, and it's really easy. They don't have to copy and paste any sort of links or try and shorten them. If you use a social plugin, it will do that for you. Okay. So Facebook, building a Facebook brand building an employer Facebook brand, is something that you'd have to consider. You want to talk to HR and definitely figure out if you'd like to build a presence yourself. At Vocus, we have our own page for Vocus Careers, which is dedicated to our job opportunities, dedicated to the employee experience here. And that's something that was the decision of our VP of HR to have a separate page from the product page. There's a separate Vocus Facebook page that promotes the product, talks about social media, cloud marketing, that sort of thing. That's something that you can decide. I've seen successful employer brands work both ways. So it just depends on if there is room for the amount of content that you want to share on the Facebook page for your corporate site, the product site, or if you want to do it yourself. If you do have a separate one for your careers and your employer brand, which we've seen success with, I definitely recommend having an engaging cover photo, a profile picture that definitely stands out. Ours isn't just the Vocus logo. I thought it was important for it to say that we are hiring so that people see that and realize, like, oh, I'm looking for a job. Okay, Vocus has jobs. It's not just that I'm looking at a company that I want to work at and they're not hiring. We are hiring. We were growing last year. We're growing this year. So to me, it was important for our team to have that represented in the profile picture. The cover photo shows pictures from our headquarters, kind of gives an inside look at what it's like to work here. And then looking at the applications, you can have a number of applications. However, only these 3 to the right of photos are the ones that you can move around and play with so that when people land on your page, they see those top 3. What we chose to put there is the job application that we have. We use JobBite, and that is connected to our applicant tracking system. People can go onto our Facebook page and apply for jobs. They can view our openings. They can share these jobs. Another application that does this, another company that offers this, is Work4Labs, and that's work, the number 4, and labs. They've done a great job with employers as well. I've seen them incorporate their application for applying for jobs on Facebook. In case you don't use JobBite, that's somebody you can look into. We also link to our blog, to videos that show tours of our headquarters, that sort of thing. And then there are also different social media plugins that we can talk about. If you are on Twitter, or if you're on Pinterest, or you're on Instagram, there are integrations for you to have what you share on those platforms shared on your Facebook page as well. And you can have them show up there as an application in the top. With Twitter, I'm not sure how many people, hopefully there are a good number of you tweeting and using hashtags to participate in this discussion right now. With Twitter, here there wasn't a lot of use of Twitter with our recruiters before my coming on, which was a year and a half ago. Since coming on, we created a handle for Vocus Careers. We included in our bio information the website for our careers website, our tagline, which is best workplace ever, and then you're also able to put another link that we put in our Facebook page as well. So that's a way that we're driving traffic. Yeah, if these people find us on Twitter, that's awesome and great, and then they might also be on Facebook, so there's another place that they can follow us. To the right, I have put some information just for people who aren't familiar with Twitter about the lingo, just what a tweet is, what it means to retweet, modify tweets, what it means to send a message or a direct message, and what a hashtag is. So like those of you who saw the BR webinar, who are using BR webinar, that hashtag, it's denoting our topic of conversation and it categorizes conversation. So you can search a hashtag and it will pull up all the tweets that are currently happening that have to do with that discussion. So that can be really useful for our recruiters to use, and I'll get into some hashtags that I recommend our recruiters search for on a daily basis. You can also schedule posts in Twitter. You can share often and interact to increase followers. Vocus Marketing Suite, that VMS there, it can also help with follower and following. The Vocus Marketing Suite offers a suggestion engine that pulls up people that it recommends that you follow, and then it also pulls up, based on your own keywords, tweets that are relevant to your topic. You can put in there job hunting or something like that, and it'll show you people who are tweeting currently right now about that topic so that you can engage with them or interact with them. One thing I love about Twitter are tweet chats. Vocus Careers, which is the handle that I manage for the Vocus recruiting team, participates in close to 25 career-related tweet chats a month. I found a blog post that listed 25 career-related tweet chats, and I have a link to that. Feel free to email me or connect with me on LinkedIn if you'd like a link to that list of tweet chats, and I'd be happy to share it with you. I'd be happy to see you interact there. The awesome thing about tweet chats is that they help you increase followers, they help you increase your reach and your engagement. Tweet chats, I think, are a great way to grow a handle. So if you're thinking of starting a handle that you didn't have before on Twitter and you're just getting into Twitter, this is a great way to gain followers because it gets your handle seen by people who might not be looking for you or who might not know you exist. And by participating in the tweet chat, if you get retweeted, or somebody responds to you, or people are asking you a question based on something that you shared there, it helps to increase your reach because those followers are also seeing your handle. They're also becoming aware of your existence in Twitter. And then that engagement, that activity and interaction with your followers, that's helping you increase your followers and your reach as well. So when you put out a question and get responses, you're engaging with an audience. So here there's a word cloud with different hashtags that I recommend that the recruiters look up in order to increase their followers and increase their presence on Twitter. The thing about Twitter is that if you don't use it, you definitely aren't going to gain any followers. Unless you're a celebrity, you're not going to show up and establish a handle and then just get 1,000 followers right away. The way that you do it and the way that you grow that handle is by interacting with people, asking questions, answering questions, and tweet chats give you the opportunity to do that in a organized, sort of structured way. So these hashtags like hiring, job hunting, sales, these are great hashtags to kind of find people who might be interested in working here because they're looking for a job and they're interested in sales, or they're interested in marketing. They're interested in the opportunities that we have available to them, and they might not know about Vocus yet. So engaging with them on Twitter is a great way to sort of find people who you might not have normally found in a job board or in LinkedIn. When I train our recruiters on using Twitter, I recommend that they complete their profiles, that they have an avatar or a photo in their picture. The default picture is something that most people associate with spam, and so you want to make sure that people know that there's a person behind this handle, there's a person behind this voice. And I tell them that if they plan on using Twitter to recruit, that they should include the tag for @VocusCareers so that people can also follow that handle as well so that they can get updates about our jobs, our employee experience, and then including links in their bio information that sort of cross-promote for Vocus Careers, either leading people to the blog or leading people to our Facebook page. Pinterest. Pinterest is an online pin board for those who don't use Pinterest yet, and users can organize and just sort of share anything that they enjoy. The nice thing about Pinterest is that we can tell the story of our employer brand in there visually. You can build a community. You can direct candidates to our jobs through Pinterest. We can direct them to anything interesting about working at Vocus, and it can be in organized into different boards. So there's tips from Vocus recruiters, there's photos of our headquarters, our European office photos are there, our featured employee blog posts. I pin photos from those in their own board, so if people are interested in finding out, oh, who's the Vocus featured employee, or what are the personalities of the people who work at Vocus, they can see that on Pinterest. And integrations for Pinterest are available, so if you have a Pinterest or you decide to create a Pinterest presence, you can also integrate it into your Facebook page for free, and it can show up on your Facebook page as an application so people don't have to leave the Facebook platform in order to see your Pinterest or your pins. It can also be linked to other social platforms as well. So if you tweet, every time you pin something, you can share it to Facebook and Twitter, and it'll go to both audiences as well. Instagram is something that we are currently building. The tricky thing about Instagram is that you have to upload the photos from a mobile phone or a mobile device. So we just got an iPad in order to kind of build our campus recruiting and things like that, and so we've decided that we're going to build our Instagram presence through that iPad, which is going to be great. So we will be Vocus Careers on Instagram as well. So the cool thing about Instagram is that if you are targeting people who are interested in technology or graphic design or anything that's visual, even if you have a product, whether it's just, if it's merchandise or your retail, you can still do fun things with Instagram about your employee experience. So you do have to upload the photos via a mobile device. This also has integrations available for a Facebook page, so people can view your Instagram on your Facebook page as well. They don't have to leave Facebook to see them. You can link them to the other social platforms like Twitter, like Facebook, like Pinterest. And then it's very useful if you have a visual story to tell. Our headquarters here is pretty impressive. We have different conference rooms that are themed and colorful. We have a gym, we have a spa, we have a coffee house. Those are all things that we can take a picture of and post on Instagram and get in front of people. The other cool thing about Instagram is because you can share these photos on Twitter, Instagram and Twitter both use hashtags for that reason. So when you upload a photo to Instagram, for example, we could upload one and still use the hashtag hiring or the hashtag job, and it will get found in Twitter. Twitter will still pull it as long as we share that photo on Twitter. This slide, just to give you content ideas, some people, if you're just starting out with your employer brand, you're wondering, what do I do? What do I share on these platforms? What makes sense? And I think one of the biggest things that makes sense for an employer brand is to leverage your employees. Use your employee appreciation activities for content. Employees share these activities, these photos with their networks. They like them, they share them, and that way they're getting in front of their networks and kind of spreading your reach. And the good thing about doing this, if you have an employee referral program where you reward your employees for bringing their referrals in, this is just giving them awesome marketing for them to have referrals come to them. So it gives them a little bit less work. And if you go ahead and sort of leverage the idea of doing something or posting a job the day after you have a great event, like the day after we rent Six Flags, if we recommend that everybody, or if we remind people that we do have an employer referral program, then people are happy, their morale is up, and they just felt appreciated, so they feel like more inclined to share your jobs and your employer brand with their network. Video sharing is a really awesome tool for promoting your employer brand. This is a great way to highlight and show candidates what it's like to work at your company. It's a great way to get your employees to do testimonials about their experience. I can't say it enough, employees are your best brand advocates. They are the ones who know what it's like to work at your company. And job postings with a video icon are 12% more likely to be viewed and 35% more likely to get applied to than a job post that doesn't have video. So it really just depends on your budget. When it comes to video, if you can hire a production company to produce something, or if you just want to do something with an iPhone or a flip cam and post it to YouTube, that's just as impactful because you're getting real people in front of the candidates and that are providing their real stories and their real experiences. For Vocus, I would like to get to the point, we are not there yet, but I would like to get to the point where we have so much video content that we can organize it into playlists. This example that I'm using here is Accenture US Careers. This is their YouTube channel. You'll see that they have so much content about their employee experience. It's really impressive. This is a lot of information that candidates can take a look at, be impressed by, and also helps them in their research of the company. It provides a really great candidate experience for someone who's applying. And you'll see that, you know, there's a playlist for about the company. There's a playlist with career spotlights, with their culture and values, with what they do as far as in the community for philanthropy, that sort of thing. So video is a great way to celebrate who works at your company, what people you're looking for. It's a great way to do it. And it doesn't cost you anything to set up a channel on YouTube or Vimeo. So once you sort of get the ball rolling with that, it's great to feature either your recruiters or someone from HR, a hiring manager, or someone maybe who's just been promoted. Anybody who is willing to get on camera and who has that personality that's sort of really celebratory of the company and really excited about it. And then finally, this is just sort of results that we've seen, some successes that we've gotten from building a great employer brand. We've actually been featured, our headquarters has been featured in local news and national news for the impressive space, for the fact that we did a lot of hiring in 2012. And this is all great results that come from having a strong employer brand, in addition to getting a lot of hires, in addition to having a lot of people apply for positions. And then another place where I like to monitor and sort of track the success of our employer brand is the platform Glassdoor. So Glassdoor, for those of you who aren't familiar with it, it is an employer review site. People go in and anonymously post reviews of the companies that they've worked for. They can post information about salaries, about the interview process. They can post photos of the office. They can share these reviews with their Facebook network. They can also, rate the CEO. And in the year and 3 months that I have been in this position building this brand, our rating in Glassdoor has gone up an entire point. And when I look at it compared to the other companies that we compete for talent with, we are on top there. So it's really great to see that, and that's a great way of measuring how your employer brand is doing and how strong it is and where you might need to improve. So that is all that I had planned on sharing with you guys. So I'd like to open it up to questions. Hopefully there are some. So Jennifer, if you're there and you want to share some questions with me.
Absolutely. So we had a couple of questions on Twitter. What are your tips for encouraging follower engagement on your posts and content?
What are my tips? Well, I think that what you have to do is think about, like I said, think about who your audience is and what makes sense for them. So think about the job that you're trying to hire for, or think about the message that you're trying to get out, and think of the most creative way. So, and the way to do that is to brainstorm either with another recruiter or your recruiting team and talk about and organize your content ahead of time. And then once you've posted, take a look at it and see what kind of response you've gotten, and if maybe it was less than what you had hoped for, you may want to revisit it and think of a different way. And also looking at competitors. If your competitors for talent are in the social space, take a look at what they're doing. Or take a look at what a really large brand is doing. I mean, you might not compete with Google for talent, but take a look at what Life at Google does and see if you see something that inspires you to sort of do something similar.
Absolutely, yeah, I agree. Kind of checking out what your competitors are doing, what other people are doing to get engagement can help you find some great ideas for sure. Some of the things I do too is I'll say, like this post if you agree, or share this with your community if you found it useful. So kind of giving people a call to action sometimes gets people to engage on some of my content as well. Would you agree?
Yeah, I've actually seen a lot of, and this goes beyond just employer brands, but any brand, the call to action is big, and I've seen people give the option of, posting one thing versus another. So an example for us would be, where would you most want to take a break today, or something like that, and show a sort of like a split screen of either the coffee shop or the gym, and say like if you're going to the gym, or share if you're going to the coffee shop. And that way, the only options are either liking or sharing, and that way you're getting an engagement no matter what.
Great tips. Another question, what is the #1 way to increase your brand exposure?
In social media? I think that the #1 way to increase it is to share across as many platforms as you can, as relevant for your brand and as relevant for your audience. I don't think that we would see as much success if we hadn't added a blog to our website that we can share across all platforms.
Great. Dustin asked, how are you calculating ROI, and how is your executive scorecard set up to validate all of this digital activity?
So I'm kind of in a lucky situation in that this is a new position that didn't exist before I got here. So I'm getting to sort of, we're going along every quarter and revisiting, where we stand amongst our competitors, and then also how many employees we're actually hiring from events or from social media. So through JobVite, which is our applicant tracking system, we have the ability to track which candidates are coming from where, how many of them are coming from, how many people are applying via social media, and that sort of thing. So that's what we use to measure that.
Great. Well, I think those are all of the questions that we had today. I want to thank everybody for joining us and for participating, and thank you so much, Veronica, for the great presentation today.
Thanks for the opportunity. People can connect with me on LinkedIn, and if anybody is interested in the Vocus Marketing Suite, they can connect with me as well, and I can connect them with someone who can give them more information or provide them with a free demonstration.
Sounds great. Well, have a great day, everybody. Thank you.
Thanks.